that you've made a mistake in inviting me because I'm not going to talk about innovation. I'm going to talk about humans and health, H, and kindness and humankind, Hkind. I'm a storyteller, and I'm going to tell you the story of a little startup, an early bird, a young bird, that just wanted to decompartmentalize health. And all started with me, a former health worker in public health, that had coordinated health project and communication health project at local, national, international, and regional levels. I've worked for the Greater Paris and Health Agency, and I've also worked for the European Commission. And one day at a dinner, so I was supposed to be aware of almost everything that was happening in health. At a dinner, I heard of this woman on the left. This woman is a nurse, and she, thanks to her, thanks to her, women don't give birth anymore in the streets to children in Paris. She organized something very simple. She's just going in the streets, and she meets this woman. And these women, she talks with them, and these women trust her. She brings them to a medical center where we don't ask them their identity. And then she finds them her home, and she tells them where to go to give birth in a public hospital. It's a very, very simple project. It's once a week in the street, once a week. It costs nothing, and it's very, very efficient. Is London aware of such a project? I'm pretty sure that they are not. Amsterdam, the same. But we still have women giving birth in the streets. You go on with a medical record that is given in hotspots. Hotspots is just at the border where you welcome refugees when their country is at war. There is a health record where all the story of the refugee, the health story, is written in English. When they take their record and they cross the Mediterranean Sea, no one is aware in the welcoming centers for refugees that these refugees have a health record. And of course, they don't think about giving it because they are exhausted by their trip. And you can go on and go on and go on with 60,000 health initiatives in France and about 1.7 million in the world. Nobody is aware of nothing in health. No one. And especially initiatives that could be useful for our work when we are a health worker. So why? I quit my job for 6 months to understand why I was totally useless in health communication. Information is scattered. It's spread all around the net. We never find what we want. When we find, miraculously, it's definitely too long. We don't have time to read. What we know is that it's top down. The authorities are telling that they are doing something. They are only telling they are doing something. We never know the something. We never know what it is practically. All networks, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's about me, myself, and I don't care about the self of the other one. What I want when I work in health, when I am a patient, when I am a caregiver, and I don't. When I am a health worker, health practitioner, I want to know the what can be useful for me, not the thing that I am going to an event and that I take my picture with my friend or colleague of the other countries just to show people that I was there. It's not useful for my work. It's not useful for my disease. And definitely it's not user-friendly. When you try to find something in health, you have to go on your computer. You can't even use your smartphone. Don't forget that 12 years ago, there were no smartphones. It's only 12 years ago, finally. So what do we need? This is the problem tree. It doesn't look like a tree, but it is. So when you have a problem tree, you take the mirror and you do the solution tree. So if it's scattered, I need just information in my center of interest, because health is an enormous, 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 enormous field of expertises. I don't know if you can do it, say it that way. It's too long, so let's make it short. So it's top-down. I don't want the top-down. I don't want the authority. I don't want the head of communication to talk about the project. I want to contact directly the project owner if I need information. So let's share and let's make it by the project owner. So I don't want the me, myself, and I want the what. What have you done and what can be useful for my job? There are no networks at all. With what you see first is the what. None of them. And I want it in my hand. 80%, I think, or more of internet research is made on your phone, so let's make it simple. So I have my solution tree. After 6 months of literature research and analyzing how we are behaving, knowing that crowdfunding had appeared, that there are online petitions now, so that people are sharing. And we are in health. People are sharing. So I have that. What am I going to do with that? And one day, one of my friends, she got dumped by her husband at 50 for a younger one. And she subscribed on a dating app that I will not name, but you recognize. And I said, I want to see! I don't know it! 2 adolescents, and I was swapping on the left, swapping on the right, the guys that she had on pictures. And I realized the next morning that I've chosen for her guys only on 5 criteria. 5 criteria. The face, the name, the age, the job, and where they were living. 5 criteria. We can say that a man is a bit more complicated and complex than 5 criteria. But it was sufficient for me to choose for her guys. God say, I'm going to make the same thing for health. For health project, I'm going to make a dating app, but what we're going to see is not the face of a guy or a woman. We're going to see a health initiative with a few criteria. I was the queen of the world. I didn't realize what it was implicating behind. So as I didn't know how to do, I went and made a possible camp. WINA is a French accelerator that is helping women in tech. And they had the sponsor for that because it was costless. And for 3 days, it's a bit tough. They push you to know if your project is good, but to know if you are ready to carry this project, because you carry it. It's heavy. And at the end, you have a pitch, an elevator 1, the famous 1 minute, to convince an audience that knows nothing about health that your project is the best and that you're best owner of the project and that you're going to make it. And I won. At 4 o'clock in the morning, the day before, I was still in front of my mirror repeating these minutes, this minute and this minute and this minute. I won, so I had a free acceleration for 6 months. But they told me during this possible camp, okay, you have your ideas, you've made a literature review, and you've analyzed everything for 6 months, fair enough, go on the field. So I went to a very famous, it was a Paris Healthcare Week, before it's the new name, and I went on the queue of the sandwich as an hostess. And I asked people to fill in my market study questionnaire, survey, looking for the. And the results were, and saying to myself, if it's this is good. Next year, I have a stand and my app is launched on this particular event. 89% of the persons that I questioned, that I interviewed, found that their colleagues, we don't ask them because if they are aware, because they would say yes. Are your colleagues aware of the initiatives that could be directly useful for their job and make them gain time and money? No, is the answer for 89%. Then ACA students went to meet me and said, we want to do a study of your startup. 96% want a tool that can be able, where they can be able to know what's happening and to contact directly the project owner. I have to jump. Then I meet these pupils. I pay them a scholarship. There are 5 of them. There are 22. For God's sake, they know digital, for sure. They are in a digital high school. And 3 devs, 3 coders, 1 project owner, 1 project designer, explained to me that we don't swap on the left and swap on the right now, that we scroll. So we scroll. And for 7 months, we worked together, trying to build Hkind, trying to build the app. On peut baisser le son? And they offered me this movie at the end. So you're going to see everything. It's like a bride dress. How difficult it is in health to make it simple. But I still had a threat, the truck. I was alone in my startup, and I had the truck factor on my head, meaning no investors will invest in my company because I was alone and that I could be scratched by a truck. And it's a real name. It's named in startup area, the truck factor. Fortunately, at the next Paris Healthcare Week, where I had my stand and I had my app, I met Marie. And Marie is a specialist in e-health, and she's, for God's sake, very, very, very good. So she's my associate now. We have the same values: synergy, ethics, humanism, sharing, efficiency, and simplicity. And we skipped these values. And for these values, and just for Hkind, which is all about human sharing, we had the Innovation Prize a few weeks ago from the Paris and Greater Paris area. So now everything begins. We have to do everything to spread Hkind around the world, because it's where humans change health. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice, for sharing this excellent initiative, and congratulations for the award.